Hi, everyone. Welcome to this workshop. This is Build Your Professional Brand for the Tribal Professional. I'm Ashley Hemmers. I'm an enrolled member of the Fort Mojave Indian Tribe, and I am proud to be a National Congress of the American Indian Grow with Google partner. I'm excited you joined us today. In this workshop, we're going to spend some time exploring the concept of professional branding and how it can help you build your career. You'll learn how personal brand and career story can help you quickly let potential employers, clients, and collaborators know who you are and what you can bring to the table. Then we'll talk about simple steps you can take to start building your brand. A few of the exercises in this workshop involve some writing. You may want to take a notebook out, a pen, or if you're like me, you can always use a digital document like Google Docs. Now let's get started. In today's agenda, we're going to talk about what professional branding can mean for your career and how it's never too early or too late to start building your own brand. We'll start by covering what a professional brand is and how companies use their brand to build trust with customers and clients. Then we'll talk about how building your professional brand can help you grow your career no matter what type of work you do. After that, we'll go over 3 steps that you can take to build your professional brand: defining your brand building, building your online presence, and growing your network. In the next 45 minutes, you'll take the first steps towards defining your professional brand and learn how you can keep branding online and in person. So let's get started. I want you to take a moment and think about a company you may like. Maybe it's a restaurant, a clothing brand, or a particular product that you enjoy. Just take a couple of seconds to think about one company. Do you got something in mind? All right. So when you think of the company you like, think about what images and feelings you associate with that company. What images come to mind, what feelings, how they make you feel, how they make you want to feel, who their ideal customer is, their client or target audience, who are they selling their products to, and what services are they selling, what sets their product or service apart from competitors with similar offerings, and how does their advertising make you feel about using their product or service. All of these things are important to branding. These impressions and the experiences you have interacting with or hearing about a company, even just looking at their logo or a part of a company, is a company's brand. So, what can this look like? You might be thinking, what does this look like in Indian country and how does this apply to me? Well, I've pulled a couple of quick examples to show you what it might look like across 3 levels: the tribal government level, the national association level, and in tribal industries. In my own work with my own nation, we have invested heavily in making sure our staff understand our story. We also invest heavily to make sure that they're familiar with our values that have been ratified by tribal elders. And then we act within and in alignment of those values every single day. Not all day, every day, but our goal is every single day. Recently, we've had to pivot our services to prioritizing community protection efforts, and the familiarity with our values has helped our team make sure that on our reservation, a little over 97% of our tribal elders have been vaccinated. That is something that we are very proud of, and we know couldn't have happened if our team members didn't know our brand story and didn't understand why we do the things we do. On a national level, the National Congress of American Indians recently launched a campaign entitled Our Stories, Our Nations: Reclamation Through Education, to increase understanding that the stories and unique histories of tribal governments are what connect our communities and our people. And finally, at a tribal industry level, 8th Generation used their decolonizing partnerships model to partner with a global brand and be the first non-Starbucks store ever in the history of Starbucks to carry products with the Starbucks Reserve logo. These are 3 types of ways that branding can help you at the tribal government level, at the national level, and even if you're making some major headway in tribal industry. So, companies hire marketing professionals to help them build their brands. In fact, a company's logo, advertising language, and even the colors and fonts they use in advertising are considered part of its branding. But a brand isn't just built by deliberate choices, it's also built over time as a result of the experiences people have when they interact with a product or service, or even when they hear about the company and organization from other people. So you're a person, not a company. So what's your branding got to do with your career? Just as companies brand communicate their qualities and offerings, you can build a brand to market yourself as you grow your career as a tribal professional. Your professional brand is made up of the unique combination of your career story along with your qualities, skills, and experience. It's a way of letting potential employers, educational institutions, colleagues, clients, mentors get a sense of who you are and what you have to offer. A few slides back, you thought about specific company, and I asked you several questions about how you perceive their brand. You can also ask those similar questions about your personal brand. For example, what images and feelings do you want people to associate with you and your work? What qualities do you want potential employers, clients, or collaborators to know that you possess? Who is your ideal client or employer or customer? Who sets you apart and what sets you apart from people in the same industry or on a similar career path? And how can you maintain brand consistency in marketing, whether it's on your website, your social media posts, or in person interactions? These are all very important for your story and something that the tribal professional can tend to think about because of our ability to lean into storytelling. So while you won't necessarily have paid advertisements or shopping bags with your logo on them, you will have a resume and social media accounts which also can reflect your personal brand. As you meet people in your field, at conferences, or as you build your network, a strong professional brand will help you leave a lasting impression. Strong branding is helpful for everyone in the job market, but it's even more crucial if you want to start your own business or launch a freelance career or figure out partnerships that can help you and your people. A great brand can help freelancers, self employed people, and small business owners attract customers, gain opportunities, and ultimately gain success. Now that you're getting a sense of what professional branding can mean for you as an individual, try applying the same questions to a person in the public eye. Think of a public figure that you admire. They could be a performer, an activist, a political figure, or anyone in the public eye. Now, take a few moments to think about their personal brand. What images and feelings do you associate with them? What qualities do they possess? Who do you think their ideal customer is? Who is their ideal client or target audience? What sets them apart from people in the same industry or on similar career paths? And how do they maintain brand consistency in their marketing, projects, or appearances? To answer all these questions, reflect on the person's brand. And just like your favorite company has integrated their brand into everything they do, their advertising, their social media, their in person experiences, even their fonts and logos, you should do the same with your professional brand. From your resume to social media posts to networking conversations, every interaction you have is an opportunity to let people know what you have to offer. That's what brand is all about. It explains your background, your skills, your passions and interests, and what sets you apart from others in the job market, and let people know why they should want to work with you. So now we're going to talk about 3 steps to build your brand. We'll go over these 3 major steps and we will define your brand. We'll talk about building your online presence and growing your network. All right, in this first step, define your brand, I will lead you through some exercises that will help you get a better understanding of your professional brand as you create a brand statement. In the second and third steps, you'll learn about actions that you can start taking immediately after this workshop to start building your brand. For this step, you'll need a pen and paper, or like I said before, to open a Google Doc like me. Your brand statement. The first step toward communicating your brand is to figure out your brand statement. Your brand statement will be one of two sentences, one or two sentences, which quickly lets someone get to know you and your work. It tells them your career story or educational history and lets them know where your career is heading. You will use your brand statement to communicate key information about you to potential employers, clients, and other collaborators. You may include it on your resume, in your professional networking emails, or during in-person conversations. In a few moments, you'll write out your brand statement. To make that simpler, we'll start by focusing on your career story. A significant part of your brand statement will be telling your career story. Your career story helps people understand who you are, where you're coming from, and what you have to offer. Like the example I spoke of earlier, when I or my team work with my people, they know that we are there to offer services to improve the quality of life of tribal members. And that helps transition us into building relationships to do just that. Keep in mind, like all good stories, it's important to start at the beginning. For us, that's meant to be a place of values ratified by our tribal elders at the center of what we do. Here's another way to think about it. Have you ever noticed that in movies about a superhero or a supervillain, the audience almost always learns the hero's origin story? They do this so you can understand why they behave the way they do, so that you can figure out how to think about them. Your career story serves a similar purpose. Your life or work experiences have made you the person you are and contribute to the way you approach your career. You can start your career story by talking about the experience that made you want to go into your career. For instance, if you parent a special needs child and went into a teaching career as a result of that experience, you'll probably have a very specific point of view about your work in the classroom. Or if you're a college student who has been deeply involved in environmental activism, you'll definitely bring that unique perspective to a job in city planning. And if you're a res kid like me, just trying to make my community a better place, you'll probably find a way to share your community story so that you can find strategic partnerships to help you do just that. It's important to remember that your career story may also include time away from work. Lots of people have experienced longer breaks in employment. Some have taken time off to raise children, care for a family member, or for any number of personal reasons. Others had a longer break in employment because of a layoff during an economic downturn or limited job opportunities in their area. Don't let a break in employment keep you from applying to jobs that you want. They are part of your career story too. Just be prepared to discuss your breaks in employment with the recruiter or hiring manager if you spent your time away from work volunteering, taking classes, or gaining other valuable skills. Be ready to share that information in an interview too. Now that we talked about your past, let's talk about your future. Sharing your professional goal will help you know where you're headed. You may help them decide and may help you decide that they want to work with you. The parent who's gone into teaching, who I mentioned in the last slide, may have a goal of helping other educators meet the needs of all of their students. Keep in mind that your professional goal is likely to change over time. People often make decisions to make changes in their careers, and often their goals change along with them. And like I teach my team, that's okay. That's how growth happens. On the next slide, you'll write your goal as you understand them today. I'm going to give you a minute to combine your origin story and professional goal, but remember, you can come back and write more later. Even if you don't have a lot of experience in your field yet, for example, if you're a new graduate or changing careers, you can still talk about what is motivating you to seek this new career. and what your ultimate goal is once you launch your career. Here are a few questions to help you get started. What events led you to become interested in this type of work? Who influenced you along the way? How did they influence you? Why did they influence you? If you could accomplish anything in your career, what would it be? What is one important problem or issue you would like to improve or address in your lifetime? And what is the first big step you'd like to take toward your dream career? Spending time to answer these questions will help you practice articulating what you want in a way that actually makes sense, especially if you want to say it out loud to other people. So don't skimp over these, give them some time, give them the time that they deserve. To complete your brand statement, you'll need a few more details that describe the way you do things. Your first step will be to make a list of things you want a potential employer, school, or coworker to know about you. These can be qualities you possess, like being honest or hardworking. They can be specific skills you have or activities you're involved in, like community organizing, volunteer work, activism, or athletics. If you get stuck, think about words other people use to describe you. Do they enjoy your sense of humor? Envy your organizational skills? Do they seek you out when they need to talk through tough issues? When you've made your list, circle or highlight the top 3 qualities, skills, or talents that you'd like to share with a potential employer or collaborator. If possible, choose the ones that most influence the way you approach your career. These qualities, skills, and talents combined with your career story can come together to form the basis of your professional brand. I'll give you 1 minute to quickly list all the skills and qualities you can think of, then circle your top 3. You can always continue your list after the workshop, or if you're watching this on a recording, pause the video to give yourself more time. Now, I want you to write 1 or 2 sentences that combine those qualities to tell your career story. Your career story statement should give people a sense of who you are, where you're coming from, and what special thing you have to offer. Here are a few examples. I'm a trained improv comic who uses humor to get people excited about STEM fields. Or I'm a journalist who brings attention to important social issues in my community. I'm a recent graduate looking to bring attention to detail to an administrative job in the finance industry. I'm a former short order cook opening my own food truck to make delicious, healthy food available to people in my community. Or mine, I'm a tribal executive committed to breaking intergenerational cycles of poverty in tribal communities, and I'm fortunate enough to try to do it in my own. As I mentioned before, aspects of your career story should be integrated into materials you use to market yourself professionally. To use some examples above, the improviser who wants to work in STEM should have a brand that combines their great sense of humor with their STEM knowledge. That sense of humor and fun and knowledge of STEM should be evident in all of their professional materials. This means when they write a cover letter, a professional email, or show up to an interview, their tone, language, and way they present themselves should reflect those things. The food truck owner's social media posts should reflect their commitment to making healthy food available to their community. Their website may contain some info about the time they spent as a short order cook, share about what they learned in that job, and discuss how they'll apply it to their new food truck business. They might also start a blog that discusses how they address food access issues in their community. You can share your career story with others and even add it to your resume and profiles on professional networking sites or other social media. I'm going to give you 1 minute to write your career story. It can be a very rough draft. Remember, you can always come back and rework it after this workshop. Your career story is a great first step towards building your professional brand. As you start to communicate your brand on your website, blog, or social media presence, and in-person conversations, find opportunities to incorporate your career story. Keep refining your career story over time and review it before interviews, networking events, or before you post online about your career or business. Like I said, I'm a tribal executive committed to breaking intergenerational cycles of poverty in my community. Each time I meet with my team of tribal government department heads, I start with our brand story. I say it out loud at the start of our meetings that we're here to improve the quality of life of tribal members, and then link it one step further so that we can continue to our shared vision. Your brand story is a powerful medicine. For us, it helps center our thoughts on community building and affirm our commitment to our clients. What will your brand story do for the people you want to serve? So tell me about yourself. This is something you're likely going to hear at a job interview, networking event, or in any other professional context. It can feel like such a large general question that it can be hard to know how to answer. Just think about it as tribal professionals. When we are hit with this question, so many things can be running through our heads, like should we start with since time immemorial? This is why figuring out how quickly and easily to say your career story is so important. If someone asks you to talk about yourself in an interview, you can share your career story, along with any of your skills, qualities, interests, and talents that apply to your role, interviewing for potential collaboration or strategic partnership. Think about 8th Generation. They developed a whole brand model that allowed them to navigate partnering with a global brand. So congratulations are in order at this point. In our time together, because your career story and list of top 5 qualities, skills, and accomplishments or activities give you enough information to start building your brand, that's exactly what we're going to start. They tell you how you should speak and write about yourself as a potential employee or partner. Now think of all the ways you can use your career story and 5 qualities to market yourself as a potential employee, collaborator, or strategic partner. Think of ways you can incorporate that brand into your marketing materials, including your resume and cover letters, business cards, website, in-person conversations, blog, social media posts, all of it. It should come to you very easily if you keep working at this. Now that you've got your career story and a list of skills, qualities, and talents, we're going to talk about how you can start communicating that brand online. Step 2, build your online presence. Let's talk about an incredibly powerful tool for communicating your brand to other people, the internet. Your online presence should be an extension of the impression you make when you meet someone in person. So yes, let's get it together. In other words, if your career story is that you're a former line cook who is opening up a food truck, and your 3 words are hardworking, determined, and community-minded, people should get that impression of you when they read your posts on social media, when you come in for an in-person interview, or when they meet you. Let's start talking about how you can promote your brand online with something you're likely already doing, posting on social media. Most of us participate in some form of social media. No matter which social media platform you use, it's important to understand that everything you put online will affect how people view you and will impact your professional brand. No matter what your brand is, make sure your tone on social media is always professional and positive. Whether what you post is open to the general public or a private account, it's still a reflection of your personal and professional brand. Yes, let me say it again for the folks in the back. Whether what you post is open to the general public or a private account, it is still a reflection of your personal and professional brand. Building a network takes time. Now that you know a few specific actions you can take to build your career network, it's important to keep this in mind. It's going to take a bit of time. Your network will naturally grow as you spend more time pursuing your career and other interests. If you follow the steps we just discussed, you should be able to build relationships more quickly. Building a following for your business or professional work on social media may seem overwhelming at first, but remember, you don't have to be everywhere at once. Pick one or two platforms to start with, then start contributing to them regularly. In order to choose the right platforms, consider two things: the brand you plan to cultivate and the audience you're trying to reach. Then decide which platform will work best for meeting both of those goals. So basically, who do you want to serve and where do they hang out online? Let's start with professional networking sites like LinkedIn or Handshake for college students. Professional networking sites allow you to interact with other users as well as companies that are looking to hire. Creating a profile on a site like this can be a great platform for your professional brand. You can build your profile on a professional networking site by following these steps: showcase accomplishments in your field or at school, share your volunteer work, post articles about your industry, engage in discussions with other people in your field. Just remember, your online presence is an extension of your personal brand. Photo and video sharing sites like Instagram and TikTok allow you to post and share photos and videos with friends or the general public. Photo and video sharing sites can be used to build your professional brand, especially if you work in a field where your work can be presented visually. For example, if you have a landscaping business, you might want to create a profile where you showcase recent photos of your work. Other examples of professions that could benefit from a profile include a hairstylist, house painters, performers, artists, and designers of all types. If you own a retail business, you can showcase your store's merchandise. And the great part, Native entrepreneurs are taking advantage of this platform to help amplify Native-owned, Native-made, and Native-driven spaces. Microblogging sites like Twitter allow you to share your thoughts in just one or two sentences. These sites can be a good way for writers and other language-based content creators to communicate with a wide audience and build their brands. Social networking sites allow you to stay in touch with people you know and meet new people. Some social networking sites also allow you to set up a profile for a business, which can be great for building your brand. If you set up a business account, just make sure to keep your posting strictly about your business. For example, if you are the food truck owner, you will likely highlight where your customers can find you, your menu, and what makes your food special. If you start sharing about anime, people might get confused. So unless your post is about your new Goku ramen, then leave the anime for your personal account. It will likely just confuse your customers. I even had to Google search anime characters for this example, so just don't. Make sure that all of your postings are on brand and on message. Making and sharing content can be a great way to help people learn about you and what you do. People in almost any career can use content to build their brand. For example, a teacher might write a blog post about interesting assignments they've given students. An HR professional might share articles about updates to employment law on a professional networking site. A hairstylist can post before and after photos of happy clients on a photo sharing site. A real estate agent might post a list of tips for quickly selling homes on social media. Remember, you don't always have to create your own original content. You can promote the work of other people you admire by just sharing their posts and articles. Sharing on-brand content made by other people can be as powerful as creating your own. Just remember to always give credit to the creators that originated the work. Make the most of your content by cross-promoting it. When you post something new to one platform, post it on your other platforms as well. For example, if you write an article online, post the link on your social media account. Once you've started building your presence online, it becomes important to consider which parts of your life you don't want to share with the world. This is where privacy comes in. In the next few slides, we'll talk about a few ways you can protect your brand and yourself by taking steps to ensure your privacy. When you apply for a new job, the chances are very high that a potential employer will search the internet for your name at some point during the interview and hiring process. They'll want to check to see whether you're a good fit for their company and also whether you've been participating in any online activities that could embarrass or cause problems for them later on. The next exercise you'll do is optional, but it will give you a chance to see what information is already available about you on the web. If you want to be able to post things on social media that may not align with your professional brand, set your personal social media accounts to private. Today, we've talked a lot about how to use social media to build your professional brand, but there's no reason you can't also have accounts when you want to be casual, share information about all kinds of topics, connect with people you care about, or express your opinions more freely. It's just important to remember that when potential employers or colleagues search for you, they will see all accounts that aren't set to private. So if you want to be able to safely share photos of your family, funny cat memes, or anything else that feels like it doesn't fit your professional brand, or reveals a little bit too much about your personal life, setting those accounts to private is a smart move. Your personal social media accounts may not always present a problem when you're looking for a job. For example, if your career is in a field like social media or marketing, having a big social media presence and following may actually work in your favor. Just keep in mind, if you're putting out information or opinions that are too personal in nature or that other people might find controversial, your personal social media accounts could keep you from getting hired or even put your current job in jeopardy. Locking down your accounts allows you to approve any potential followers and friends on social media before they can see your content and keep everyone else from seeing your posts. Now let's talk about a few other ways you can manage your privacy online. This exercise is designed to help you find what potential employers, collaborators, or educators may see when they search for you online. It will also give you the chance to evaluate whether your internet search results are in line with the professional brand that you're building. Before we get started, this exercise is optional. You're going to perform an internet search for yourself. You may want to wait until you're in a private location before you complete the search, since it's hard to know in advance what kind of results may come up. Before you begin your search, make sure you have privacy and no one else can see your screen. In your browser, open a new window in incognito mode. Then navigate to the search engine you'd like to use. To open a window in incognito mode, open the File menu, then select New Incognito Window. Incognito mode allows you to search the web without your prior search and browser history affecting your results. In other words, searching in incognito mode makes your search results more likely to look like the results someone else who searches for you online will get. After your incognito window opens, navigate to a search engine to perform your search. No matter what you find, doing this internet search will allow you to be prepared in case a potential employer, client, or collaborator has questions about your search results. You might find results for other people with your name or your own website, or even news articles that feature you. You might not find much at all, and that's fine too. You may find something positive, like a good review about your business or coverage of a volunteer project you worked on. If so, consider sharing that on your social media or a website that you have, if you have one. You might find results that are embarrassing or just don't feel on brand for you. If this happens, ask yourself, is this something I have control over? If your search results bring up something that you'd rather people not see, if you can delete it, then delete it. If it's a social media account, log into that account and change its settings to private. If the content is included on someone else's website or social media page, you can ask them to remove it. And if your search brings up something that you don't have any control over, like a negative online review or for your business, that's good information to have so that you understand how to respond if you should be questioned about it later. A Google Privacy Checkup allows you to look through the settings in your Google account and adjust how much information you allow your accounts to share. To begin, navigate to myaccount.google.com/privacy checkup. Google will suggest different privacy settings for you to take a look at. Your privacy checkup will be based on how you use your Google account, so your privacy recommendations may look different than the ones you see here. Scroll down to browse key privacy settings. You can decide which ones you want to review, or you can just review them all. Here are a few privacy settings you may want to look at. Start with the Manage What You Share on YouTube tab. In this tab, choose who can see your YouTube videos, playlists, and subscriptions, and decide where you share them. If you've been posting YouTube content that fits your professional brand and you want to see that content, make sure you check the box. If you've been watching videos and compiling playlists that don't have anything to do with your brand, then check the next box. Then look at your YouTube activity feed. You can choose to automatically have your public YouTube activity show up in your channel's activity feed, or keep that information private. Next, you can take a look at the Google Photos settings, choose whether you want to remove a geolocation from your photos when you share them by link, and then finally, click Control What Others See About You to make sure you haven't been sharing private information like your home address or phone number with people via your Google profile. Now that you've learned several steps you can take to grow your brand online, identifying the right platforms, managing your privacy settings on social media accounts, keeping tabs on your search results, and performing a privacy checkup will help you as you move forward in developing your professional brand. Building a strong online presence for your professional brand doesn't happen overnight, but with steady progress, smart choices, and consistent monitoring, you can grow your brand so that potential employers, collaborators, and clients can learn about what you have to offer and connect with you. Step 3. Grow your network. Now that you've defined your brand and learned how to spread the word online, the next step is to get as many people as possible familiar with and excited about your brand. For example, my team huddles around our brand story, and when we successfully run an event, do something for our community, help our clients, it helps us get excited for the work we do in the world. This is growing a network. The people you surround yourself with can help you grow your brand and your career, but it starts with them being aware of what it is. So start by asking yourself a few questions. Who should I meet in order to continue to grow my brand or career? And what kinds of people should I know? What kinds of people should know about me and the work that I do? The more people you know, the more chances you'll have to find opportunities, learn from others, and share what you know. Networking. Once you identify the kinds of people you want to meet, you can take steps to start meeting more of them. This is often referred to as networking. Networking means forming a community of people with a shared intention of building each other's careers. You can meet people by attending events related to your career or interests, or if you're in school, by joining groups on campus. You can get involved with professional organizations in your field, taking an internship, or attending a conference or mixer for people in your profession. You can also network virtually by participating in career-related conversations online. Mentors will play a special role in your career development. A mentor is generally someone who has more experience than you and is willing to share their knowledge to help you grow. You can meet mentors in educational settings or even in classes you take outside of work. You may also meet them through friends. Whether you meet them online or in person, you can ask people in your field for an informational interview so that you can have an opportunity to ask questions about their field or career path. But keep in mind your career story, the qualities you jotted down in your notes before, and find ways to add value back. Mentorships are a two-way field. It's not about seeking information, it's about respecting, cultivating, and building relationships. You can find a mentor at your current job. If you're lucky enough to have a great manager, or if you identify someone else that you can think of that you can learn from, don't be shy about getting to know them a little better. It's also helpful to find advocates. An advocate, like a mentor, is likely to be someone further along in their career path than you. Unlike a mentor who is there to impart knowledge, an advocate will take concrete actions to help your career progress. For example, they may be able to recommend you for a job, promotion, or a raise. Mentors and advocates will both serve important roles in your growing career. The big difference between a mentor and an advocate is that mentors help you grow by imparting knowledge, while advocates act on your behalf. Take a few moments to think about whether you have mentors and advocates in your career now, and where you may identify people who can serve in either role. You may have heard of a board of directors, but have you ever thought about what that might look like for yourself? Companies have advisory groups called board of directors. A board of directors is a group of industry experts that guides important decisions and steers a company through difficult times as well as good ones. In my team, we call them work groups, and I have built 3. One that focuses on community services, one that focuses on infrastructure services, and one that focuses on professional services for our clients. As you build your own career and professional brand, you may also benefit from creating your own board of directors. That is a group of people who can steer your decision-making process, introduce you to people, give great advice, or just help you talk through things. Rather than a company's board of directors, which has formal meetings, your board can be a group of mentors, friends, or colleagues with expertise in your field or similar fields. And it has to be whose expertise you trust. Rather than meeting as a group, you can call them individually when you need help with a specific issue. But if you're lucky enough, you put together a strong enough group that you can come together for laughs and trying to figure out how to build a charcuterie board. Spoiler alert, we did it thanks to YouTube. So your board of directors will be defined by how you curate it for yourself. You see, unlike mentors and advocates, your board of directors does not have to consist solely of people with more experience or career experience than you. It can also include peers whose opinion you trust. Try to curate a group of people with diverse perspectives and experiences who will encourage you to take steps you may not otherwise and to think bigger. You may find some of your friends from school or even professors wind up serving in these roles for you. You're also likely to meet mentors and colleagues you trust and admire as you build your career. Today, you took the first steps towards building your professional brand. We started by discussing how companies use branding to build their reputations. We also shared Indian country examples from the tribal, national, and industry levels, and learned how individuals can build their own professional brand to take their careers to the next level. You defined your career story and figured out how to respond when someone says, "Tell me about yourself," in an interview, meeting, or networking setting. Then we talked about ways you can build your online presence and talked about strategies for expanding your reach through content creation. Finally, we looked at strategies for expanding your network. We discussed finding mentors and advocates, and you started thinking about your board of directors. This workshop was just the beginning. Now that you know how to start thinking about your brand, here are some action steps you can take. Incorporate your brand into your professional portfolio. or your personal marketing materials like your resume and social media profiles. If your resume has a summary statement, make sure it reflects your career story and the skills, qualities, and talents you brainstormed earlier. You can also experiment with the design elements and wording choices that fit your brand. Just make sure your resume remains clear and easy to read. Start building your brand online. Search for yourself online. If you find anything that feels off brand or that you wouldn't want a potential employer or colleague to see, address it if you can. Pick one or two social media platforms and begin posting or sharing on brand content regularly. Build your network, find mentors, advocates, and people who you can appoint to your own board of directors. Today, we touched on a few of the collaboration features Google has to offer. To get more in-depth training on these tools, Google offers free Google Workspace training. Anyone can complete all of the Google Workspace training at no cost through Applied Digital Skills, an online platform for digital learning. Some lessons may be labeled Workspace certification. Certification is not a requirement, and these lessons can help you get familiar with all of the applications in Google Workspace. Samples lessons from Applied Digital Skills are showed in the image on the screen. While today we touched on building your professional brand, you can find many more lessons and tools to build your career with Google's Applied Digital Skills. This program features video lessons that teach you how to build digital projects like cover letters, a project tracker, or a business plan. Anyone can complete these lessons at no cost through an online platform for digital learning. Sample lessons from Applied Digital Skills are shown in the image on the screen. You can continue learning about ways to grow your business with Grow with Google On Air. This free resource can help you grow your digital skills and help you stay connected and productive while working on managing a business remotely. Visit g.co/growonair to learn more. This screenshot shows upcoming and on-demand workshops available via Grow with Google On Air. If you're looking to start a new career or land a competitively paid job or build skills to grow your career, check out Google Career Certificates. Google Career Certificates can give you a path to in-demand jobs with top employers that are currently hiring. You can earn a certificate and prepare for a new career in a high-growth field in under 6 months, even if you don't have any relevant experience. Learn at your own pace and complete the online program on your own terms. Certificates are available for IT support, project management, UX design, data analytics, and Android development. You can get started at grow.google/certificates. I'd like to thank you for spending time with me from the Fort Mojave Indian Reservation. This workshop also comes with a handout to get you started as you continue to build your brand. Please check the link below for the Build Your Professional Brand handout. If you're interested in more trainings like this, please stay tuned to the National Congress of the American Indian channel. If you'd like to learn more from me, you can find me on Instagram at Tribal Reclamation. As always, Sumacha Hot, I wish you the best and thank you.